Warsaw, 1867. Under the heavy hand of the Russian Empire, a little girl named Maria Sklodowska is born. Her world is one of silence and restriction. Schools are censored, language is controlled, and for girls, higher education is forbidden. From the beginning, Maria is different. Her father is a teacher, her mother a headmistress. Both fill her childhood with books, numbers, and the belief that knowledge is power. But in a society where girls are told to stay small, Maria's hunger for learning is dangerous. So she takes a risk. She joins the Flying University, a secret underground school that moves from house to house, hidden from Russian eyes. Behind locked doors, women gather by candlelight, trading ideas, reading banned books, studying chemistry, physics, mathematics. Here, Maria feels alive. Here, she discovers who she is meant to be. But knowledge does not come easily. Her family is poor. Her father loses his job for resisting the authorities. To survive, Maria works as a tutor, hiding her ambition while saving every coin. Each night, she writes in her notebooks, dreaming of Paris, the city where women can study freely, where science has no chains. She is young, she is unknown, and yet, the girl who is not allowed to learn is already preparing to challenge the very limits of human knowledge.
Paris, 1891. Maria Sklodowska, now calling herself Marie, arrives at the Sorbonne with a suitcase of books, a handful of coins, and dreams larger than the city itself. Life is brutal. She rents a small attic room with no heat, no food, no comfort. In winter, her water jug freezes solid by morning. Many nights she goes to bed hungry, wrapping herself in every piece of clothing she owns. Her classmates laugh at her accent, her shabby clothes, her silence. She does not join parties. She does not waste time. She reads, she calculates, she memorizes formulas under candlelight until her eyes burn. She pushes herself so far that once she faints in class from hunger. But she does not stop. Within 2 years, Marie graduates at the top of her class in physics. A year later, she does the same in mathematics. The girl who studied in secret, forbidden in her homeland, is now one of the brightest students in France. Paris tested her body, but it could not break her mind. She came as a stranger with nothing and left as a scientist the world could no longer ignore.
Paris, 1894. Marie is introduced to a quiet, brilliant physicist named Pierre Curie. He is shy, awkward, a man who lives for his experiments. But when he meets Marie, something changes. He does not offer her jewelry or promises of comfort. Instead, he offers her a partnership, a laboratory, a life of science, a shared pursuit of truth. Marie hesitates, thinking of Poland, her family, her duty to return home. Pierre writes her a letter. It would be a beautiful thing to pass through life together, hypnotized in our dreams. Your dream for your country, our dream for humanity, our dream for science. They marry in a simple ceremony. No white dress, no ring, no luxury. She wears a dark blue dress she will use for years in the lab. Their honeymoon? A cycling trip across the French countryside. 2 young scientists riding bicycles, dreaming of discovery. In the lab, they are inseparable. She brings the vision, the questions, the relentless energy. He brings precision, discipline, and support. Together, they form something rare, a love story built not on words, but on experiments, on glass tubes, on equations scribbled into the night. Marie and Pierre Curie, partners in life and in science,
are about to uncover forces no human has ever seen before.
1896. Henri Becquerel discovers mysterious rays coming from uranium. Most scientists move on, but Marie Curie does not. She asks, could there be other elements with even stronger rays? In a wooden shed behind the university, Marie and Pierre begin their search. The conditions are brutal. No ventilation, no real equipment, only old iron pots and makeshift tools. For years, Marie stirs through tons of pitchblende, a heavy black ore, boiling it down bucket by bucket. Her hands blister, her body weakens, but she does not stop. In 1898, she isolates a new element. She names it polonium, a secret tribute to her homeland, Poland, still erased from the map. Months later, she isolates another, radium. Its glow is so intense that at night, the vials shine in the dark like living fire. Marie coins a new word to describe this mysterious power: radioactivity. The world is stunned. A hidden force of nature has been uncovered by a woman working in a shed. What began as whispers in a secret classroom in Warsaw has become a discovery that will change medicine, physics, and the future of humanity itself.
1903. The Nobel Committee prepares to award a prize in physics for the discovery of radioactivity. At first, they nominate only Pierre Curie and Henri Becquerel. Marie's name is missing. To many men in science, she is just an assistant, a wife in the background. But Pierre refuses. He writes to the committee, the discoveries were Marie's. The calculations, the endless experiments, the sleepless nights in the shed, all hers. Without her, there is no discovery. The committee yields. For the first time in history, a woman is awarded the Nobel Prize. Marie Curie stands on stage beside her husband, silent but unshaken. She has broken through a wall centuries old. But the recognition does not distract her. She does not celebrate. She does not slow down. The Nobel Prize is not the end of her journey, only proof that the path she chose, no matter how impossible, was the right one. The world now knows her name, but Marie Curie is already thinking of the next discovery.
1906. A rainy day in Paris. Pierre Curie steps into the street, and in an instant, he is struck by a carriage. He dies instantly. Marie is shattered. Her partner in love and science, gone. For days she cannot speak. Friends fear she will never return to her work. But grief does not silence her. Weeks later, she walks into the Sorbonne to give her first lecture in Pierre's place. The room is packed, not only with students, but with women who came simply to witness history. Marie Curie, veiled in black, becomes the first woman professor in the university's centuries-long history. Her voice does not break. She teaches as if Pierre is still beside her, as if the experiments continue through her alone. In her silence, there is strength. Widowed, isolated, judged, yet she carries the Curie name forward. Alone in the lab, she keeps working because science does not stop for grief. Marie Curie, quote, "Life is not easy for any of us, but what of that? We must have perseverance and, above all, confidence in ourselves."
1911. Marie Curie is at the height of her fame and the center of a storm. Newspapers explode with scandal. They accuse her of destroying a marriage, of being a foreigner who does not belong in France, of being a dangerous woman with too much power. Behind the headlines is her private affair with physicist Paul Langevin. The press calls her a witch, a home wrecker, even demands she leave the country.
At the same time, the Nobel Committee considers giving her a second prize in chemistry. Some advise her not to attend the ceremony. The scandal, they say, is too shameful. Marie refuses. She travels to Stockholm, stands before the world, and accepts her second Nobel Prize. She's now the only person in history to win in 2 different sciences. She does not bow to gossip nor to slander. She bows only to truth, to discovery, to the work itself. Marie Curie turned scandal into silence, and silence into immortality. 1914. World War erupts across Europe. The battlefield fills with wounded soldiers, and one woman scientist decides science must go to war. Marie Curie designs mobile X-ray units, small vans equipped with machines that can see inside the body. They are nicknamed the Petites Curies. She personally drives them to the front lines, teaching doctors and nurses how to use them. Not satisfied, she trains her 17-year-old daughter, Irene, to operate the machines too. Together, they scan broken bones, locate bullets, and save countless lives. Marie could have stayed in her lab, safe and honored. Instead, she chose mud, danger, and the smell of blood, because for her, science was not theory, it was service. While nations fought to destroy, she fought to heal. Her war was not for glory, but for humanity.
In her lab, Marie Curie kept small glass vials of radium on her desk. At night, they glowed with a soft blue light, filling the darkness like a secret fire. Visitors were enchanted. To Marie, it was proof of beauty hidden in matter itself. But the glow carried a price. She handled radium with bare hands, carried it in her pockets, even kept it in her drawer as if it were harmless. No one yet understood the danger. Years later, her notebooks, her clothes, even her furniture would still be radioactive, too dangerous to touch without protection. The light that dazzled the world was also slowly burning her from within. She never feared it. She never stopped. To her, knowledge was worth the risk. The glow of death became the glow of discovery. Marie Curie, quote, "I am one of those who think that science has great beauty."
Years of exposure take their toll. Marie Curie's eyesight weakens, her body grows frail, her blood no longer strong. She suffers from anemia, cataracts, exhaustion. Yet she continues. Each day she returns to the laboratory, her hands trembling but steady enough to write equations, to guide experiments, to inspire students. Doctors warn her, colleagues worry for her health, but Marie does not stop. She has given her life to science, and she accepts the cost without regret. In 1934, after decades of sacrifice, she dies from aplastic anemia, a disease linked directly to her years of radiation exposure. She paid with her life, but she never once abandoned her purpose. Her discoveries outlived her body, her name, her time. The price of discovery was death, but the reward was immortality. Marie Curie, quote, "Life is not easy for any of us, but what of that? We must have perseverance and, above all, confidence in ourselves."
Marie Curie's body rests in the Pantheon of Paris, among kings, generals, and presidents. She is the first woman ever laid to rest there on her own merits. Her name lives on in the periodic table, curium, element 96. Her notebooks, still radioactive, remain sealed in lead boxes, a silent reminder of the power she unleashed. Her daughters carried her torch,
Irene Joliot-Curie won the Nobel Prize in Chemistry, continuing the legacy of discovery. The Curie family became a dynasty of science, bound not by blood alone, but by purpose. Around the world, hospitals, research centers, and universities bear her name. Millions owe their lives to the medical advances her work made possible. Marie Curie did not seek fame, wealth, or power. She sought truth, and in doing so, she became immortal. Marie Curie. One never notices what has been done. One can only see what remains to be done.
Be less curious about people and more curious about ideas. Marie Curie lived this from childhood. In Warsaw, when women were barred from higher education, she risked punishment to attend secret classes at the Flying University. Her curiosity wasn't gossip, it was truth-seeking, the kind that reshapes the world. Life is not easy for any of us, but what of that? When she arrived in Paris, she lived in freezing rooms, fainted from hunger, and studied by candlelight. Hardship wasn't an obstacle, it was a teacher. We must have perseverance and, above all, confidence in ourselves. After Pierre's sudden death, she stepped into his position at the Sorbonne. Her first lecture, delivered in mourning black, made her the first woman professor in its history. First principle, never to let oneself be beaten down by persons or by events. When her private life became a national scandal, the press tried to humiliate her, yet she still walked on to the Nobel stage, accepting her second prize with unshakable dignity. I am among those who think that science has great beauty. She kept glowing radium on her desk, enchanted by its mysterious light, unaware of the danger. To her, even deadly fire was beautiful if it revealed the secrets of nature. Nothing in life is to be feared, it is only to be understood. Handling radiation with bare hands, she treated risk not with fear, but with hunger to understand. For her, science was the antidote to ignorance. I am among those who think that the most beautiful thing is to know. She refused to patent radium. She could have been rich beyond measure, but she believed knowledge belonged to everyone, not to her. You cannot hope to build a better world without improving the individuals. During World War I, she built mobile X-ray vans, drove them to the front lines herself, and trained her teenage daughter to save lives under fire. One never notices what has been done, one can only see what remains to be done. Even after 2 Nobel Prizes, she kept working like a student, always looking ahead, never behind. Now is the time to understand more so that we may fear less. Her vision wasn't just science for discovery's sake. It was science as liberation, as courage. One must work. One must work hard. I have no time for anything else. Even as her health broke under radiation, she returned daily to the lab. Her body weakened, but her purpose never did. Radium is not to enrich anyone. It is for all people. She refused profit, refused ownership. She gave science to humanity. And in return, humanity gave her immortality.